A giant deal today in the world of entertainment. The Disney Kingdom is on the verge of getting a lot larger, buying a huge chunk of Rupert Murdoch's 21st Century Fox for $52 billion. That includes film and television studios. Hari Srinivasan is in our New York studios with more on what it could mean.
Some of the biggest franchises in the business, Marvel superheroes, the Star Wars films, and Pixar blockbusters, all would now be under the Disney roof. And that may signal a coming break between Disney and Netflix, Amazon, and others. This all is happening on the same day the FCC voted 3-2 along party lines to end so-called net neutrality. Many experts say companies will now be able to create a kind of fast lane on the web for the traffic and content that they want you to choose or that you're willing to pay a higher rate for. NPR's David Folkenflik joins me now. So first of all, what does Disney want with Fox?
Disney right now is looking at a big winter coming, and it's in the form of Netflix, it's in the form of Amazon, and it's even probably going to be in the form of Apple. These guys are going to be willing to spend billions of dollars a year in creating content that they can give to digital consumers on demand. And so Disney, already the biggest conventional Hollywood studio, says, let's ramp up. Let's get the TV studios of Fox. Let's get the movie studios of Fox. Let's get their back catalog. Let's get their executives who have the know-how in Los Angeles, and let's really do that. And they're interested in international distribution. Major European satellite provider, Sky, is 40% controlled by Fox and the Murdochs. They'll get that. In fact, the Murdochs in the process of trying to take over that whole company.
So there were reports that the president spoke to Rupert Murdoch. They've been friends for a long time. They spoke yesterday. This deal's announced today. Any concerns?
Well, the real interest, of course, is Trump's concern. The president has forged an alliance with Rupert Murdoch, who has been the acting and leading CEO of the Fox network since he tossed out the founder over sexual harassment concerns almost 18 months ago. And what Trump's real concern is somehow that Rupert wouldn't be controlling Fox News, that he wouldn't be keeping Fox News. He's saying, hey, is that going to stick around? And I think that's a source of concern because Fox News in some ways has served not only as a cheerleader, but an enforcer and as a message creator for the president and for those close to him. It's been a closed loop for him, and it's been a vital part of him holding on to that base, even as controversy swirls and surrounds that White House.
What happens to general viewers like us, so to speak? Are there going to be differences in how we get these movies and where we get them from, especially if we're just watching at home?
Right. So there's a real interesting thing here. You would expect, and I certainly do expect, federal regulators, either at the FCC or within the Antitrust Division of the U.S. Justice Department, to take a very close look at this. After all, this is like with like. Disney and 20th Century Fox and Fox more generally have been real competitors for decades, and they're absorbing a lot of the folks they've competed with. This should have antitrust concerns. At the same time, the question is, if they're competing with streaming forces, will this provide an extra competitor in the streaming realm? Disney had already announced that it intended to have a major streaming service for its entertainment offerings and for a separate one for sports offerings with certain ESPN offerings on there. Having some Fox regional sports networks elements to supplant that, to fuse that in there could help. You could have additional Fox viewing things on the entertainment streaming service. Could these be more of a competition for Amazon and Apple and Netflix? That could be a benefit to consumer. What I don't think is that somehow it's all going to be cheaper for us. I just think there are going to be these other elements that could be viable. Disney wants to survive.
So this is happening on the same day that the FCC changes these rules on net neutrality. A lot of people, fighting against these changes that were happening today. Is this the kind of consolidation that the people who didn't want these changes to happen are worried about, that there's going to be so much power in the hands of a new Disney? If they're also a streaming competitor, they can decide, well, guess what? You get to have this Disney movie at a great rate of speed versus what how I distribute this elsewhere.
Well, I mean, I think we have to think about the enormous consolidation that's happening all over the technical landscape as well as the content landscape. And in some ways, these moments are blurring. And Netflix, a creator, is going to spend, I think, $8 billion next year in content, not just a platform for viewing other content. Disney wants to get into more of the platform business. I think you've seen already extraordinary consolidation in those people who provide internet service. I mean, I think you're looking at Comcast. You're looking at Spectrum, which absorbed the old Time Warner and Charter, and you're looking also at AT&T and Verizon's in that mix as well. You're looking at a very small number of companies controlling both the content and information that is created and the ways in which we consume it. So it's hard at certain points, if you're looking at one group of titans, to root for that group, and it's hard to root for another group of titans when you look at that. I do think that there are questions about, I mean, rarely does it seem to me that the consumer ends up better off.
NPR's David Folkenflik, thanks so much for joining us.
You bet.